Good afternoon, YTPC. Smoking Fred coming at you. Hope y'all are having a good Sunday. About 85 degrees out in my back porch right now. Figured I'd sit down and share a pipe with some of y'all. Today I've got some Peterson 3Ps, which is Peterson's Perfect Plug, in a Cassini 4-dot. This is the one that Mad Pipes had restored for me. Did a video, a Yabo on that a couple months back. This mixture is a Virginia Burley. I wasn't sure how I was going to like it the first time, but after one bowl of it, I grabbed a couple the next time it went on sale. But I got it out, sliced off a little bit, let it dry for about 20-30 minutes after rubbing it out, and then packed the bowl. So the order of business for today is a couple of people doing giveaways on their milestones, and I decided it was time to do some VRs. So we got a couple coming at you. I'm going to start off with Ponderosa Piper. Congrats on 100. I know I think I'm close to, I'm a little over 120 now, which I'm thankful for y'all for that. I thought about doing a giveaway, but I'm not feeling it. So it's not feeling like the right moment. So if and when it hits me, I'll do it. But Ponderosa Piper was asking, what's your favorite pipe smoking memory? Now, my first pipe smoking memory was, I remember being over at my grandfather's house. He lived across the street from me. We lived out in the middle of nowhere in farm country in a town that still doesn't have a post office. You know, my grandfather would smoke a pipe in the house. And we lost him in 1988, so I don't remember too much about it. Never got any of his pipes or anything like that. I don't know what happened to him. Don't know what he smoked. I do remember a cherry smell. So those are my earliest memories of it. But my favorite pipe smoking memory, that one's a much tougher one. Thought I had it nailed down, but I'm not quite sure. I guess I'd have to say my favorite memory, one that happened recently. I was out at the Carolina coast a couple weeks back. I think it was only a week and a half ago. Week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that. But sitting on the porch and enjoying a bowl of tobacco with my wife. She'd recently picked up some pipes at the Corp show in Richmond, and sitting down and enjoying a bowl with her is always a good memory. But that first one that I remember after the pipe show, I should have shared something with me at the pipe show. It was cool hanging out with some of the other YouTubers and other people we were hanging out with. But actually sit down one-on-one and enjoy a pipe with her, that first one was special. So, as for you, Ponderosa Piper, you actually have is Griffin Pipes. Congrats on your milestone. I forget which one it is. I apologize, but asking what our favorite holiday blend is, and I think you're specifically asking about Christmas. And mine is this Christmas Spice. It's a Cavendish Burley and Virginia with vanilla, caramel, and cinnamon. So a ribbon cut. A little bit on the moist side. But a little bit of dry time, it ain't too bad. I also, Richmond Pipe Show, tried Golden Days of Yore, which I think is going to rival that one. I haven't done a side-by-side comparison yet, but probably around Thanksgiving I'll try to crack open a Golden Days of Yore tin and do a comparison. Well, that's my favorite holiday tobacco or Christmas tobacco as of right now. North Georgia Piper was asking, if you haven't checked out any of these channels, they're all definitely good channels to listen to. I enjoy sharing a pipe and listening to their content. The North Georgia Piper was asking about some history on a place you lived. And the town where I grew up in, I don't think much history happened there other than my dad growing up there. Could be wrong, but the nearest city, as you might want to call it, I think it's only about 12,000 people now, so it's not super huge. But I'm going to out myself here as a damn Yankee. Any of y'all that don't know the difference between a Yankee and a damn Yankee is a damn Yankee moves south and stays there. But I grew up in farm country in western New York, and the nearest big city is a place that's nicknamed the Crystal City. Some of the finest crystal, as in cut glass, came out of that city in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And it's a city many of you probably heard of because of the name Corning. And Corning, Corningware, Corelware, made by Corning. So it started off as a major exporter of lumber. They got a big river, so they'd cut down trees and send them down the Susquehanna River into Pennsylvania down toward Philadelphia. Back in the day, but it became a city in the late 1700s, so it was pretty early on with our country's history. It's like 1789, 90, something around there. But glass is their big claim to fame, glass, crystal, etc. So, also of note was in 1972, which was before my time, but I have a lot of family and friends that lived in the area that were alive for this. Hurricane Agnes, the remnants of her came through and decimated the city and just absolutely flooded it. It's known as the Flood of 72. So that's a little bit of history on most notable things that I can think of from the city where I grew up. We don't have any Civil War history or anything. We're too far north for the South to have gotten up there and whatnot. But nice little town. They got a Market Street district that is got some phenomenal restaurants on it and places to dine. Soulful Cup, always can get a good cup of coffee there if you're ever up in that area. If you like New York style pizza, Anelio's is great. There's an amazing Thai place called like a Purple Thai Elephant or something like that. A couple good antique stores and lots of other stuff. Bought my first pipe tobacco on Market Street in Corning, a little place called Brown's Cigar Store. They've always had a catchy jingle. Something about whatever you've been looking for, you can find at a Brown Cigar Store. And they carry a small selection of pipes as well. I've picked up a couple basket pipes there. They have some Savinellis and Petersons there as well, but nothing that jumped out at me while I was there. But there's a pair of basket pipes last summer that jumped out at me. nice little selection of cigars and whatnot. So it's, you know, not a place like Pipes by George or something like that, or L.J. Peretti or E1 Rees or anything like that. But for a small town, it's pretty decent that they actually have a place where you can buy pipes and pipe tobacco. But first two blends I ever picked up were rum and maple by Sutliff, as well as heavy English. And thought I'd like the maple better, but the heavy English was a good hitter and turned me away from aromatics to try other things. I still love me some aromatics, don't get me wrong. I don't want Greg, aka the Tunnel Take, to think I'm dogging on all his aromatics. I prefer a straight tobacco, something that smells like tobacco and can get the flavors out of the tobacco. My palate has developed enough where I'm starting to get, you know, a lot of flavors out of them. This one I can definitely pick up on some dark fruit and some good nuttiness from that burley. It's a banger of a blend for me, even on a nice, especially on a nice hot day or warm day like today. So next I'm gonna move on to Smoke Snacks, and he was asking about our favorite pipe or pipes. And I kind of like what I'm drawing a blank on the guy, Ed, that he's always smoking his favorite pipe. Armchair piper Ed. But you know, whatever he's smoking is his favorite pipe, whatever's in his mouth and packed with tobacco, and I totally get that sentiment. So right now, this is my favorite pipe, and it's got my favorite tobacco in it right now. What I felt like smoking. But this is among one of my favorite pipes to smoke. Another one. Should have looked up what this one was. This is a Savinelli BR11, I think it is, or BR2. Savinelli Stanwell. I don't know what I said. It's a Stanwell. It's a BR2. And this is my, as I showed you earlier, this is the Sassini 4-dot. It's a Author or Rhodesian style. Another one is this Nording I picked up. And then another one on top of that is another Nording. And I thought I had one more. There it is. This Tim West that I picked up at an antique store. And the characteristics these pipes have in common that make them my favorites are bent pipes. I love me a bent pipe. Love me some Paul action. Love me some Paul action. And these aren't Pauls by any stretch of the imagination, but none of the Pauls I have really tickle the itch for what these pipes offer. And the biggest thing for me is the smallest thing. And that is, I don't know if y'all can see it too well, maybe if I move it closer to my face so it can focus, but how thin those bits are. All these have very thin bits. I'm a clencher. I clench in my teeth, not in my hand. And they're very thin right here, so it's very comfortable to bite and hold on my teeth. They got a decent sized button, so it's not going to fall. I kind of let it dangle a little bit. I don't even have to hold it tight in my teeth. They're all fairly light. I mean, I have some 2.5 to 3 ounce plus pipes that I do clench, but not for long periods of time like these ones. Another thing all these have in common for the most part, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's there, maybe right there. It's got a nice little flat spot, so it's a sitter slash poker. This one's much more pronounced on its flat spot. These two don't really have a flat spot, but they're balanced well enough and wide enough on the bottom that they will just set them on a table, so I don't have to bring a pipe stand with me. This one is not a sitter per se, but it's wide enough that when I set it down, even if I set it like that, the tobacco doesn't really spill out. And another characteristic all these have is they are fairly thick boys. Walls are kind of thick, so that helps with the pipes from getting too hot. I mean, this Tim West, look at those walls, and they're thick the whole way down. These are also, I think most of them except for this one, are Dublin style bowls, so they kind of taper down at the bottom. So those are the characteristics that make a good pipe, and then on top of that, they all have a nice wide open draw. I don't tend to prefer filters. I have burned the crap out of my tongue before because I smoked aromatics too fast and too wet and burned my tongue, but I've just learned to dry them out and slow down. And trust me, I've tried filters. But they tend to restrict a draw too much for me. And a lot of these, something like this, some of those subtle Virginia flavors can get filtered out. Now, I understand the risks of pipe smoking, just like any kind of smoking, whether it's cigars or anything you don't inhale. I go in for regular dentist checkups and make sure they check me out. So, but those are what make a good smoking pipe for me. But I love the variety. I love me an Paul. I'm not as big of a fan of billiards, but I do have a couple billiards that I do enjoy. Last night I was smoking a, actually, I still have that one too. I was smoking this one last night. It's another Doring. This one's a Calabash, but it's kind of a bent pot, almost, not quite as wide as a pot, but it is a Calabash pipe. But once again, it has a nice, thin, comfortable bit. So that's what makes a good smoking pipe for me. And then on to the last VR. This is for Cali Pipe Girl, who's been a member of the YTPC for I think over a decade, but she kind of got away from it for a couple of years and is just starting to get back into it. So welcome back. I wasn't a pipe smoker back then, didn't know what the YTPC was, but glad to have you as part of the community. And I got a handful of hobbies outside of pipe smoking. One of them is restoring some pipes. I bought lots of estate pipes that have needed some restoration work. I only do light stuff, and it's only for me for fun. I'm not trying to make a business out of it. There's plenty of people out there that do, like Mad Pipes, who restored this one for me. This pipe had a hole chewed through the vulcanite stem, and he was able to repair it for me. It ain't perfect, but it's good enough to turn it into a good smoker. And when I say it ain't perfect, I can still see the lines just a little bit on it. I might be able to if I cover my face and try to let that focus and get the sun on it right. You might be able to see the little circle of repairs in there, but it's good enough for me. I'm very happy with it. I mean, it's a great damn smoker. But so restoring pipes is one of them. But outside of anything pipe related, I do love the outdoors. I love kayaking. I got a couple of kayaks. I got a 13.5-foot sit on top that I can rig up for fishing and just do some trolling around or bait casting and whatnot off of. I have a 14.5 and a 17-foot that are more of a long-range kayak for doing kayak camping or going for a good exercise paddle. And I've got a little 10.5-foot recreational kayak made by Necky. It's a good all-around boat, kind of like a pickup truck, I would say. It doesn't go super fast, but it'll do just about anything you throw at it. You can do some decent rapids and whatnot. You can put a spray skirt on it so you're not you don't take too much water in if you go through some rapids and whatnot. But that going out and doing some camping. I've done kayak camping. I've done car camping. I do tent camping. I don't have an RV or anything like that. I'm more of a roughing it kind of guy. But and on top of that, another one of my hobbies. I love antique stores. Pick up pipes and such. But other things that I have found there that I really enjoy. Where's the other one? Are vintage razors. Now, these two are antique store finds. These two I purchased new. This one's a Mercure Sledgehammer. It's a beast heavy razor. This is my first one, an Edwin Jagger DE89. Good all-around razor. I want it to be more aggressive, so I modified it a little to give a little more blade reveal. And these two are from old Gillettes. This one's a fat boy, and this one's a regular. But you load the blade by opening the top, dropping a double-edged razor in there, and closing it up. This one actually has a blade in it, but you can see and these have a dial to adjust how aggressive they are. So I've got these set on an 8 out of 9, so they are pretty aggressive. I don't have very sensitive skin, so I collect those. But when I got into using this one when I got sick of paying Gillette, I don't remember what it was, $4 to $5 per cartridge for my 5-blade super duper whatever it's called, Mach 5 or something like that. It was a Mach 3, I can't remember what the 5 was, but Fusion, I think it was. But it was, gosh, probably about 12, 13 years ago. I got sick of that. I know Astra blades, they cost about 10 cents a piece. I buy, I think it's like a 50 or 100 pack of them. Or, no, 50, no, more than that. It's at least 100 in a pack. But anyway, they go for about 10 cents a piece. And yeah, you do have to figure out how, you have to match the angle of this to your face as you're going along. You can't just drag it along. But that's what got me into that. And another product, if you don't want to step that far ahead, but you want to get away from the disposable razor game, is this leaf razor. It's got a pivoting head, and I don't know if you can see it there too well, but it's got 3 blades you can load in it. It's kind of neat, in my opinion. You can unscrew this, it's captive, and then you can load blades in here. I'm not going to take them out, but you can see there's 3 blades in there, and you can load 1, 2, or 3 to adjust how aggressive you want it. And this is like your Mach 3, Venus, whatever you ladies use, but it adjusts to the proper angle on your face. And it takes the double-edged blade snapped in half. And so to reload this with 3 half blades, it's basically 15 cents. There's no metal or no plastic waste, so you can recycle the blades, throw them in a sharps container when you're done with them. And I got one of these for my wife. A couple of my other female friends have started using them as well, and it's a little bit of an initial investment. It's like 80 bucks, but within 6 months you'll probably pay it back, or get a return on your investment by just refilling. But anyway, I just wanted to throw a little plug out there for Leaf. They don't sponsor me or anything like that, but anybody who's looking to be a little more environmentally friendly and save some money in the long run, Leaf, it's L-E-A-F. Just type in Leaf shaver. They also have some single blade, the Thorn, and less aggressive, the Twig, that are just one blade, but they're more like the other ones where you have to adjust the angle on your face. But anywho, anybody who wants to try something different and whatnot, I highly recommend getting. There's a rubber thing to add to the handle to give you a little better grip, especially if you shave in the shower. But this is another great one. But additionally, on top of that, sorry for the little detour there, but another one of my hobbies is related to that. Is I also got into straight razors, and I love going out looking for them, and I have quite a few. I think I have 11 of them. But I love to restore them. I've got a hone, so I can take them and sharpen them up. Get a nice razor's edge on them. Got the leather strap for them, and I just love the variety in them. And this one, I took some time to get all the metal polished up and everything, clean up the scales. And I do shave with them. I shaved with this one this morning. Got a nice wide blade on it. This one is a Solingen Luna, Festus and Co. But it's just like smoking a pipe. It's not something you can rush. You have to take your time with it. Respect it. There's the prep work of prepping your skin with a hot towel, and got the badger brush to lather up. I use Taylor of Old Bond Street. I'm using one that's a tobacco leaf flavored or scented one, and lather it up. And you got to take your time and go with the grain on the first pass, and then go. I recommend going sideways or across the grain on your second pass, and some people go against the grain. I do on my sideburns. I don't necessarily everywhere else, but gives me a nice, close, comfortable shave, no ingrown hairs. But instead of just taking something like this and shaving real quick in the shower, which this is great for that, but it might take me a good 10 minutes to do my 2 passes and whatnot, but I find it to be very relaxing. It's kind of like smoking a pipe. It's not something that everybody does, but I rather enjoy it. And the set of sharpening stones I have, whetstones, they go from I think 4,000 grit up to about 12,000 grit. There's 4 different sides to them, and I just put a piece of electrical tape around the spine of the razor, and just take my time and do about 20-25 strokes on each side. And then check it with a piece of paper and make sure there's no nicks or anything on the blade. If it doesn't give me a nice clean drag all the way through the paper and it catches somewhere, then I go back to that whetstone and give her a few more until it's good. And most of the time when I'm sharpening those nowadays, when I find them, I'm doing it while smoking a pipe. But it's yet another thing that I rather enjoy. It's old-timey, old school, call me old-fashioned, and I typically don't pay more than about $20 or $25 for a razor. I'll take a look at them. This pack that I got in an antique store this spring came with this leather case. It did have one in there that the blade was cracked, but the overall price for all of them was good, and I gave the cracked one to my barber because he displays them on his wall, and it was fine for display, just not for use. And the crack was pretty deep. I was going to have to take the blade from about a 3/4 inch width down to less than probably 3/8, so it wouldn't have been able to hold much shaving cream, and I just decided it wasn't worth it for me to spend that much time trying to grind it down, and I don't have a grinder, so I have to send it out or just hone it that long. But anywho, so those are some of my hobbies that I enjoy, and if y'all want to save some money shaving, pick up a Leaf or pick up one of the DEs. I mean, these Edwin Jaggers, they go for about $25. A little bit more of a learning curve than the Leaf razor, but if you want to learn how to smoke a pipe, you can learn how to use one of those bad boys. And it's very, very rewarding when you get a nice clean shave out of it. And they don't cut below the skin. A lot of those triple blade ones, they work on trying to raise up and pick up, cut below the skin to give you a longer, smooth shave, but it can lead to irritation, razor burn, ingrown hairs, whereas these ones don't cut below the skin, but they'll keep me clean and smooth for a good day or two. I typically just shave once a week. I know people that shave, every day with these, or every 2 or 3 days. So I was shaving twice a week, but I cut back to once a week, and it's plenty fine for me. So anyway, I think that's enough rambling for me. What are we up to now? We're up to about 30 minutes, so hope y'all have been enjoying. Maybe you had a pipe with me. But that gives you a little bit more insight into the head of Smoking Fred, and where he came from, where he is now, and what he likes to do. So, as always, I want to encourage y'all to be a better person today than you were yesterday, and be a better person tomorrow than you were today. Smoking Fred, out.